good about that. There's a few throws that I wish I had back, balls that kind of died at the end. Today I wanted to prove that I had a strong arm, and I think I did that, but there were 2 to 3 throws that I wish I had back. So,
how much was motivation of the non-combine invite to go and say, I deserve to be in Indianapolis?
I think for me, obviously it motivated me. I knew that I belonged in that group of guys, but for me it was just, I told myself I get an extra month to prepare for this day, and that's exactly what I did. I spent the last 4 weeks since the combine, visualizing what today was going to look like, and praying that the ball doesn't hit the ground. So,
how long have you and Tony been working on this script for this?
We've been working on the script and routes that I would throw for this for the last 10 weeks. Right after the national championship, I went out to see him, and I felt really confident going into the script, and having him there with me gave me a lot of confidence today.
How much does throw to Bryce, to Chris, to Braylon to get to do that again? How exciting was that?
It was really exciting. We all knew going into it that it wasn't going to be the last catch, but in front of scouts, it might be the last time that we throw together. I was super happy that they allowed Bryce and Chris to run routes today. I think that's great exposure for them. I was fortunate to have that as an underclassman, so I think for them to get exposure like that, especially Bryce, who, I'm sure some of the scouts are writing some stuff down about him, but extremely happy for those guys too.
You mentioned, being able to come out here for the past couple of years and throw to the receivers that were here for their pro day. Just kind of, how much do you think that helped prepare you for you to be on this stage now?
I think it prepared me really well, and I think also throwing at the East-West Shrine game, we had a very similar pro-style format where we threw in front of like 300 or 400 scouts. So today was nothing. I was used to throwing to a little bit more, bigger crowd. So I was extremely confident going into today.
What was that time period like between the Shrine Bowl and now? Obviously, you mentioned that you had a little bit of extra time to prepare, but just mentally getting ready for this pro day, just kind of what was that in between period like?
It's a lot, especially being a quarterback. Some other positions don't have to spend as much time in position work and quarterback meetings, but Tony did a great job of preparing me on not only how to properly throw the football, but learning about NFL fronts, coverages, all that kind of stuff, and helping me for after pro day and all that.
Did you have anything in particular you wanted to show off coming into today, to show that you can do it the next level?
I think always just the knock is like my height and my arm strength, and I wanted to prove that I do have an NFL arm, and I think I did that today.
You feel like you get drafted? You've done enough that you weren't a draft pick for the team?
That's a really good question. Either way, I'll be happy. I just want an opportunity. I don't know what the scouts are going to do or what the GM of an organization will do, but I controlled everything that I can control by performing at my best when it mattered today at the Shrine game during the season. So now it's in their hands. But wherever I end up, I know that it's a great opportunity.
I think you said after the national title game, people have overlooked me all my life.
Mm-hmm.
The combine thing now, is it time to check off another one?
I think so. I didn't want to add any extra stress or try to prove to anybody that I should have been at the combine. I just trusted my fundamentals, and like you said, there was some motivation there, but I just wanted to prove myself.
We're starting to see some 7th-round mock drafts come out, and your name's starting to pop up in the 6th and 7th round. What would it mean to you to get that phone call from an NFL team and see your name come across the screen?
I think, it's everyone's childhood dream. Like for me, I always followed Peyton Manning growing up, and I wanted to be like him. I emulated how he played in the backyard, and then every year watching the draft, I think that's like the most motivating day for any college or high school athlete. So I think hearing my name called would be extremely humbling, and I would be extremely grateful for that opportunity.
O-line work went well, and we're excited for the future, that's for sure.
Did you get out of this what you wanted? And Hayes Bowman's on the barn for what you did in Indianapolis and Mobile. What was the goal out of today?
Goal was just to come out and compete, show my athleticism, and then just be able to lace up the cleats again with these guys and see them again and basically do some offensive line work.
To go out with Mason out there, what were those drills like to do that?
Man, Mason and Ponch, like I've been with those guys the past 5 years of my life, and super excited for their future and everything that they have ahead of them. It was super unique to be able to work out with them one last time and do some O-line work for them.
Does this feel kind of like the end of your NDSU chapter for the closure of the book here? Because now this is the last kind of event here.
Yeah, when you say it like that, it's kind of like, man, like lost words that this might be the last time that I kind of get to work out with the NDSU brand on my chest before you go to a different team. And super excited for the future, but at the same time, it's kind of bringing a tear to your eye a little bit, knowing that this might be the last time that you get to do stuff with these group of guys and these seniors.
With how different today was with the more position-specific work, just kind of how did you approach today in that regard, and how valuable was that for you in the pre-draft process?
Super valuable. I mean, anytime you can come out and work offensive line stuff and perfect your craft, it's something I want to do. And you want to go and show them what you've been doing the past few months and what you've been striving to get better at. And I thought I did well today.
Have you been able to take in this whole pre-draft process at all? Obviously very busy since the end of the season and seeing you climb draft boards and whatnot. What's it been like from your perspective?
Yeah, it's flown by. But you just try and take things day by day and not get ahead of yourself and continue to enjoy this process, because it is a once-in-a-lifetime process to go through this. And it's super unique that you'd be able to kind of get your name out there and represent NDSU in a positive way playing this game of football.
Guys like Cordell and Cody being here, they've been in your shoes where you're at right now. Just kind of how valuable is it to have them?
Super valuable. I mean, I lean on those guys. Those guys are my best friends between Cordell, Cody, Kubis. I reach out to them daily, ask them questions, what to expect, how to do this, how to do that. And they've been super important to me because they've been giving me that feedback of what to expect and help me out through this process. And hopefully someday I'm able to repay the favor.
What's the next 30 days?
Next 30 days is going to be a lot of plane trips and visiting teams and working out in hotel rooms and kind of hotel workout facilities. So it's going to be a busy April, but super grateful for the opportunity to do so.
How many visits do you have officially lined up right now?
I'm not sure. I think in that 5 to 7 range.
Yep.
So I think we only get 3 weeks in April to go around to teams. So we're gonna be getting those sky miles in.
How much do you pay attention to mock drafts, or do you try not to pay attention to mock drafts?
Try not to pay attention to those. I mean, they pop up here and there, and it's cool to see me and the NDSU logo and stuff up there. But at the same time, you have no control over where you go, and you still got to keep your head down and go to work every single day.
How do you describe Mason Miller's growth since you got here and when you got here at the same time?
Yeah, I think you could kind of, it's very similar to myself. I mean, we came in, we're really skinny, probably not the strongest human beings on the planet, and then just his growth over the past 5 years has been remarkable. Just to see him both mentally and physically grow like that is really incredible. And I mean, he's not done yet. He's an awesome player, and he's going to continue to grow day after day.
Great. What would high school version do something back then? You were performing in front of scouts and doing this whole thing and getting ready for potential NFL career?
Man, that's a really good question. First thing, you'd probably be like shocked that I weigh 312 pounds right now. But I mean, it's just been a lifelong dream to go out and do something like this, and being able to live my dream every single day is something I don't take for granted, and I'm super excited for the next 30 days or so and see what happens.
What exact testing did you do today? I know you did some at the combine.
I did the pro agility, which is just the 5-10-5, the L cone, and then just the offensive line work.
Have you done a 40 anywhere, or is that something you plan on or need to do at this point?
Not really. I mean, I trained for it, and then down in Mobile, I kind of strained my groin a little bit. And, we had to make a decision if it was going to be a run of 40 in Indy or play football a few more days down in Mobile. And that was a pretty easy decision to make on the spot. But at this moment, it's one of those deals, risk versus reward, being able to run. I mean, when the pads come on, you got to play at a fast pace. But through this process, I really stressed about being a really good football player. So,
And you're done with all the testing now, pretty much, and now just keyboard cuts and stuff. Is that kind of a relief to not have to do some of that agility and running stuff?
yeah, I mean, as you go through this process, it's just you're going through and trying to check a box every single time. And kind of once you have all the boxes checked after pro day, it's a little weight off your chest, but at the same time, now it's just a mental aspect to this process of meeting with teams, talking football, high football IQ, and all that. So once you knock down one thing, you got to go to the next task.
There's a possibility you could go in the first round. We don't know what's going to happen. There's that possibility. I think you'd be the first NDSU offensive lineman to go in the first round. What would that mean? What would that hypothetical mean if that happened?
Man, that would be remarkable. Would be super excited, but at the same time, the guys that came before me, they continued to elevate the standard. They continued to bring guys up with them. I mean, I wouldn't be the player I am today if it wasn't for Cordell Volson pushing me freshman year, and then Cody Mauk playing next to me the next 2 years, and then Jake Kubas and I in 2023 going after it together. So it's those guys that are bringing me along just as much as I'm trying to work as hard as I possibly can. So guys like that, I mean, they laid the foundation. I'm just walking the path down it. So would be super excited for that.
Thanks, Greg. What were the anticipation of getting out here and get a chance with knowing full well how many scouts and coaches were going to be here?
Right, you try not to put too much stress on yourself. Pressure's a good thing. Pressure builds diamonds. And, I felt that pressure this morning when I woke up. Had a lot of adrenaline going into bench press, but that adrenaline kind of, I thought, helped carry me through a lot of drills. And, I thought overall it was fantastic.
What's the early feedback you've gotten, Ace, about what next month could hold?
I think there's a lot of positives, especially coming off today. Today was more of a showcase how athletic I can be, and I thought I did that. Kind of silenced any questions that were out there. I've heard some good things from some scouts. My agents heard some good things as well coming off today, and it's going to be an exciting next month. So
to do this one more time with Gray and Hunter, what was that like for you?
It was fun, going out there and doing the bag drills with each other. We've never actually held the bags for each other, so you kind of got to get a little feel for that right away. But it was fun. I mean, two true competitors, and anytime you can go out like that, it's truly special.
That individual work with the pro scouts, just kind of how valuable was that to have at this time, in this pre-draft process here?
It's great. I mean, anytime you can get out in front of a group of scouts. I did that when I went to the CGS Bowl right after the national championship, and I just went out there to showcase, and I did the same thing today. And anytime you can do that, it's a really special thing.
How hard is that kind of in-between period been between the last time you got to be in front of NFL scouts to now? Just kind of what was the main focus in that in-between time?
Right, you try not to panic too much when you don't hear anything. You just kind of got to stay in the dark and grow like a mushroom does, and do your work. And then you have opportunities like this to go showcase, and you got to take advantage of that. So
to have guys who have completed this process before here, like Cody and Cordell being around, just kind of how fun is that to be able to do this in front of them as well?
Yeah, it's really cool. They were all back today, and they were all giving little tips and advice, and cheering us on, and to have that phone call away type of deal was really cool. And I mean, they're very successful people, and they did a really good job when they did this pro day. So to bounce things off of them and to finally do it is really cool.
Was there one drill you were looking forward to the most?
Probably the ball drill to just showcase how you can bend. Otherwise, the bench press I was kind of looking forward to just being the first one, and having all that anxiety build up a little bit before, and to finally go out there and release it really.
Last time to do anything officially at NDSU for 6 years. Tell me this has been in your life. What's that emotion like?
It's special. I mean, this whole place is special. The town is special. The people that support us are special. Can't ever say thank you enough to Bison Nation and what they've done to support us, and the people that have come before us to build this. I mean, I wouldn't be standing in an indoor practice facility if it wasn't for guys that went and busted their tails in the 60s. So to carry that tradition and uphold it has been truly an honor, and very, very proud that I can say that I've done that.
Are you struggling being looked at as a tackle from the teams you've talked with, or is it whatever comes your way?
Yeah, so I actually took center reps down at CGS, and I've been playing everything, just kind of preaching, selling myself as a availability guy. Or the best ability is availability. So if I can do anything, play left side, right side, inside, outside, I think that's where I'll best fit. And tackles nowadays they have 35-inch arms, so 33 and a half might not be able to play outside. So yeah, really I am. But.
What's your weight at? I'm sorry, what's your weight at?
I was 306. I've kind of been fluctuating between 305, 310, 306 today. I wanted to stay a little bit lighter for the movement stuff today, and I'll have a month and a half to get weight on before we go to mini camps and stuff like that.
Do you remember your first weight when you first came to NDSU?
Yeah, I do. I was 247 the first day I stepped on the scale, and I was much lighter than that playing basketball. We had that little coat.
You were like 230 in high school.
Yeah, I was like 225, I think, was my last day playing basketball in high school. So I had a nice little month and a half off to gain weight before we started this whole process. So.
Do you think you're going to get drafted? Have you heard? What have you heard?
I think if I continue to do well, obviously it started today, and then it goes into having good meetings with scouts. I think anything is possible. I think I heard Gray say it, if it happens in the first round, it's a blessing. In second round, it's to be expected. Same thing for me. If I get drafted, it's a blessing, but, to go somewhere is to be expected.
What has Ray meant to you throughout this whole process? I know you guys are great friends over these years.
It's a really special relationship. Not a lot. Of times where you can say one of your best friends is somebody you compete with harder than anybody else. To have that relationship, we kind of grew up together in a sense of words here. He ended up starting, and then I started when he got hurt, and then we just kind of blossomed from there. So to have that, companionship through adversity with each other, and then to build each other up has been really, really special.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Bye now.
You meant to say